London Hyrox. How'd it go? Was it what you was expecting? And of course, what can we do better next time? Woodsy workout, back with another video coming off of London Hyrox. Firstly, what an event, the biggest Hyrox so far, and it was awesome seeing you all out there competing. It was much more relaxing for me. I was just coaching and spectating, although it did make me really want to join in. But if you took part on Saturday, then firstly, well done. You should be buzzing. No matter what time or category you was in, completing it is no easy feat. So massive congratulations to you. But if you're anything like me, as you're soaking up the day and resting the legs, you're probably reflecting on what went well and what you could have done better, maybe faster. And I'm betting you've taken a look at that time card for the answers. For those of you who don't know, if you go to the Hyrox website and you click the leaderboard, results and rankings, you can see everyone's positions and your specific times for all of your runs and your stations. So if you are looking to do another race, if you've got Vegas coming up, or even if you don't know yet, my first piece of advice is reflect on your initial feelings and takeaways now, and then write them down whilst they're still fresh. So I found your memory can't always be trustworthy after some time. So writing these down now will help you in training later. Firstly, how you felt as a whole. Was you happy with your results, satisfied or not? Was you frustrated? Number two, any areas you felt you was working flat out, your absolute hardest, and you couldn't have gone any faster. And then three, any areas that you felt you could have gone faster, but maybe you was holding some back. Not always a bad thing, but maybe you lost concentration or took your foot off the gas or just misjudged a certain part of the race. And then finally, any specific mistakes you can remember. So like no reps, running extra laps, trip ups, blunders with transitions, anything where you like got stuck behind someone. Write any of those down and try and be as specific as you can and recall where it was within the race. The reason for this is all of these things are things that don't necessarily show up on that time card, but might tell you where you can work on in training. For example, you may have been fast on the wall balls, but you got a bunch of no reps, which shows a poor time, meaning it's not necessarily your fitness that needs work, but your efficiency. Once you've got this down, you can have a true perspective on what went well and what you need to work on. So now, because Hyrox tests multiple different facets of fitness and skill, knowing what groups of things you are good at or bad at will determine how you need to train going forward. So if we break it down, you've got your running, which is cardio, but because it's such a big part of the race, it needs its own section. And then you have your muscular endurance obstacles. So those are your sled push, sled pull, and lunges. You got your cardio stations, which are like your burpee broad jumps, wall balls, and farmers. Although that may be put in the muscular endurance depending on how fast you're going. And then you've got cardio machines, so your rower and your skier, and also your rock zone time, so the time you took getting in and out of your stations. So once you've had a good look at all of those, you've pretty much got yourself a blueprint for training going forward. If you were slow on like your sleds and your lunges, your muscular endurance needs work, so you could benefit from increasing your max strength and your sustained output of strength over sort of 2 to 4 minutes. If your running was poor but your cardio stations were good, you need to spend more time on feet, specifically running. And then if your running and your cardio stations were slow, you'll likely need to spend more time building an aerobic base So base endurance can be done through running, cycling, or cardio machines where you're working at 60 to 70% of your max heart rate for a long period of time. And finally, if you were spending a long time in the rock zone, then you could do with working on your compromised running, which could involve breaking up your runs with exercises midway through, like burpees, or doing some active rest in between hard intervals. So like walking after rounds of sled pushes, so that you get used to working under fatigue and clearing that lactic acid. So that's all I've got for you for today. I will be doing future videos on how to train for those specific components that we talked about. But if you want specific advice or some personal coaching, reach out to me on Instagram at Woodsy Workout. Any other feedback, chuck in the comments. Please like and subscribe. And again, well done to all of those who took part and are now part of the high society.